the first thing that you need to know is obviously where we are located, right? Because that's the most important thing for you to be able to find housing. So this is like our address. When you're looking for a place, just make sure that it will be like close to the place, to the or building. And then that's obviously like the closer you are, the more expensive it might be. So you have to think about what are your priorities. Is it a priority to spend less money, but spend more time going to campus? We have like a bus that is like the Aggie bus, and that will go to many places in town. But those are things that you have to think about. Well, the first thing for you to look at, if you haven't already, is like the TAMU bus routes. So where does it go, right? And then here, as you can see, this is the university, right? Texas A&M. And you see like where it says architecture quad, that's where we are located, right? So we are right here. The School of Architecture is called Student Services. So that's us. And then on the right side, you can see where the buses are. And then you can see, for example, the bus one. So this is where it will go, right? And then actually this like, if the buses, like they show you where they're moving as well. So you can know when the buses are coming and all that. That's where you see the dot, is like kind of like where the bus is going. But then there's like other bus routes, right? You could add here, and you can see where this bus goes. And some of the buses do connect. You might have to take two buses in this case if you, for example, are going to have an apartment just far away. But you can see like all these buses here, they are like free for students. Obviously, you pay for it in your fees and all that. And they come quite frequently. And I will say, see, you can see them moving right now. Even though, you know, right now it's like, actually the summer semester started a few days ago. But here, this is like the best website for you to figure out where you're going to be living. So I will go, let's go to the guide again. Oh, this is not the guide. Oh, here, you are seeing the Word document again. So again, just so these are maybe the best routes, are the most direct, like Route 26, which is like Rodler, and then the Ring Dance, they have their own names, and the Aggie Spirit, right? So if we we're going to, I mean, we can find those. Oh, I think that I was not sharing. Let me just like, because I needed to share again. Now I see that I'm not sharing. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so this is like the link. And then, so for example, I think that I was putting a lot that might not get you there, but some of the ones that might be good is like the Brodler one, the Ring Dance. So these are like some of the buses that students identify as some of the best. And there was one more, but it's in the guide, to take us to the university. As you can see, yeah, here is like the architecture quad. So you still might have to walk a little bit, but a lot of the students like seem to get these buses, but there are many others. So I will like stop this share and then go back to the main guide. So again, that's the link that you can get if it was emailed to you. And then this is just some example, for instance, right? Like a lot of the apartment buildings, when you look at it, it will say which buses, because a lot of the apartments are catering to students. So you need to, again, coordinate that. And another thing is like, you know, if you are here, then obviously taking the bus to see how it goes. It's like always a good idea. If you're not here and you need to pick a place, well, it's a little bit harder, but you can always contact students or just calculate how long it will take and make your decision that way. What is the best way to find apartments? Well, there is popular places like Craigslist and Zillow and Red.com. So those are places that you can go. For example, if I go here to Craigslist and I see that I'm not sharing again and I need to share. If I go here to Craigslist, for instance, you will have to obviously find to be in College Station because it will ask you for your zip code. And then I will put here College Station, and then there's different things like apartments, housing, or there's like rooms shared. Or you can also make a post saying that you want to share with someone. But ideally, like since all of you are looking for housing, maybe you can connect among each other and then just room together as opposed to be rooming with like a random person. But if you're looking for, again, just roommates, this is like a good option. So it's like you can find here, some of the rooms will be furnished and some of them might not be. And some of them might have preferences, like graduate students. I think that's always like a good idea instead of you like rooming with people that are undergrads, because like undergrads, they might have different priorities, right? And graduate students tend to be more mature and older. Maybe, you know, party less. I think that makes it hard when you're rooming with someone that is not the same stage in life than you. So again, this is a good place. And then here, for instance, if we choose, we can see details about this is like a private room in a place, right? And so those things range for, let's say, like $550 a month. And then this one is a month-to-month contract. So that's something that you have to look. In most of these apartments is going to be a 12-month contract, which means that again, you have to be committed to be here for the year. Remember that you also have an internship that happens the first summer. So you might be here for 9 months and might want to go to a different place for 3 months to do your internship. So those are some of the things that you might want to consider. Many students do subleases. So for instance, they do the 12-month contract, but then they sublease to another student that might come here in the summer. And that way they will not have to pay two rents where they got the internship and here. Obviously, you can always get an internship closer. But I'm just telling you that in advance. So you are like aware. Here one, for example, it says no application fee. And you need to pay attention to the things because most of them will have like application fees, which are like from $35 to $60. Many times you have to even call them on the phone, like, did you get my application? Or call them before and say, I'm gonna submit that application. In the next hour, I will appreciate if you can like look at it. And again, I said that because I think that most places get back to you, but some places might be a little bit slow, and you want to obviously move ahead if that might not work out for you, right? So here is just like Craigslist. I'm gonna like stop sharing. There are other places. Again, these ones are among the most popular that people might use, like rent.com. So here one, I didn't put that it was in College Station, Texas. But you can find here, and then this shows the map, and you can see there's two cities here. So this College Station is the city that is in the boundaries of purple. That's where the university is, but there's also the students that live also in Bryan, and Bryan is a cheaper area, and the buses do go there. It's just like a little bit farther, but it is a cheaper area. So you might explore that area as well. The prices here are not for like rooming from the most part. Some of them might be, but a lot of these prices are, for instance, so some of them have 1 and 2 beds, right? So it might be that you need to have a roommate in order to get there. So you can click on any of these. Some of these are like extremely close, right? So University Terrace Apartments, 925. And if you go there, it has 3 beds. It is possible that if you go to that particular place, because I know people that live here, they share with other roommates and people are looking for roommates. So a way that you could try to find out is like contact the property and say, are there any people that are looking for roommates? Those things might not appear here. They might be in flyers outside or things like that. So it's like a little bit harder to do the rooming thing unless you're here, but there's some properties that already do that. So you could go to the property and, or even call them on the phone. And then that means that 3 people are sharing this like for $925, which is gonna be a lot cheaper, right? So we are talking about $300 plus you're paying for utilities as well. But rooming is, again, a lot more affordable. And then I will go back to the main document here. Okay. So again, you can check Zillow, it's kind of that the same thing. Those are like platforms. If you're going to share, as I said, it's gonna be cheaper between 500 and 700 per month. And that might add the utilities as well. So which is like internet and garbage and sewage and water, electricity. And then if it's a single bedroom apartment, it's gonna be a lot more, of course. What do you need? Well, you need obviously your credit checks or any other ways, like if you don't have credit checks because you haven't lived in the United States and you don't have like credit history, any other way to show that you have the funds to be able to be in there and they don't have to evict you, which is like if you cannot pay, they will remove you from the place, right? So other things that you might need are the proof of income, right? Like pay stub or employment letters, or maybe from the school, some of the financial aid to show that you can pay for the place. Obviously, you will need identification. Usually they will ask for 2 pieces of identification. I put that here linked also to my Aggie card, which is something that you need to get that ID. And there's a lot of like things here about the security deposit. So deposit. So usually many places get their first month of rent, but then they give you back at the end the money, because like the last month you will not pay for rent. So for example, if the place is $700, they will ask for $700 in advance, which will be accounted towards the end of your lease for the last month. Sometimes they have additional fees, so it might be like not only the first month, last month. So we are talking about $1,400 there that you need to pay upfront. But maybe it's $300 additional for a security deposit to make sure that you don't do any damages. So let's say that it's like now $1,700 that you have to do instead of like the $700 that is the rent. You might need like references, and that could be obviously if you have rented, those are better. So people that have rented to you, or it could be other people as well. And then, as I said, there's application fees. And there's again more information about those things. There's always a lease agreement, so it's important that you read these. So regarding the security deposit and any damages and things like that, right? And just, you know, for international students in particular, just get more information about your rights, right, with like landlords, because they're supposed to fix things if they're broken, right, and not penalize you. things like that. If you don't have like again credit, a good thing that you could do is like having your parents provide some assurance that they will pay for you, or again, I understand that there's some companies that do that for international students. It's called like guarantor service. So those are things that you could do as well. I sent to you like a way to connect with like fellow students. So if you have like further questions, this will be a great thing that you can do. Just like, this is like a group me, it's like a group that you do, it's like a online platform in where you put your phone numbers, and then people can communicate through the phone. So make sure that you do that. There's all information here about transportation, as I already showed you, the bus and where it goes. But there's also public transportation. That is like, you often pay for that. That's outside of the university. But there's the Brazos Transit District. So this is a bus that is provided by the county. And basically you stand outside and get the bus. I think it's close to like less than $2 per ride. So that's something that you could also check. There's also these bikes that you can rent. You can lease bikes. There's like, the university has a sale also of bikes that are basically abandoned in the school, and then they fix them, and you can buy one for $30. Biking here is very nice. If you have a car, you need to get a parking permit. And those like go fast, so do that if you're thinking about that right away. So you can also get like cheaper rates as well. And then obviously, as I said, you need to figure out like if the utilities and internet are included in the rent or not. Most times are not, they're extra, and they're gonna be $100 to $200 in addition to the rent. So again, if you see a place and it's like $600, it's gonna be potentially a lot more with like the utilities. Usually if it's with roommates, they will be divided exactly the same, regardless of how much, if you might take very long showers or not, or use a lot of electricity or not. So usually split on the middle. That's the way it works. And then obviously make sure that when you're finding a place, it's close to the grocery store. These are like some popular options like H-E-B or Kroger or Walmart. There's like a list that I sent to you guys that it is of apartments that were recommended by other students. I will go there, and let me stop share and do it again. This one, okay. So this one, it has 3 tabs here: rentals, roommate, and temp state offers. So in the rentals, you have like the name of the place, like the Enclave Student Apartments, and there's again just more information there. There's, again, a collection of a few places that students recommended, and we will potentially be adding more of these places. There's like 2 students, one is a female and one is a male, looking for roommates. If you're also looking for roommates, you can put your name here, and instead of putting the place and all that, you can just like put, your name, and I'm looking for roommates. And people might contact you, but if you want to contact any of these people, their emails are there. And then there's also, I put here like an offer, like if people, again, want to stay with me while they find a place, although I'm gonna be traveling until basically I come back July 30th. But there's another student that offer to, if you need like also before that, kind of like stay with her for a few days and trying to figure out, and hopefully we can add more people to this list. So you can figure out to stay with someone, let's say, 3 to 5 days while you find a place. And then now let's go back to the, I think that that's kind of like it really with the guide, that you have like those options. And let's like open it up for questions now.